What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and today I have a very different kind of video. So we're not going to be speaking about any stocks in particular. More so, we're going to be speaking about how the stock market affects people's mental health, because I don't know if I've really ever seen this addressed on YouTube. Days like today, Tesla's down over 6%, Virgin Galactic's down nearly 20%, Palantir's down nearly 8%, Paysafe nearly 20%, Jumia nearly 25%. This takes its toll on people. As a YouTuber, I have seen this firsthand for such a long period of time now. And you guys have probably seen it as viewers as well. When the stock market was going really well, when growth stocks and penny stocks were going really well, a lot of us YouTubers, we were uploading loads of videos. Everybody's communities were so happy. And then stocks started to fall very, very heavily. And a lot of YouTubers, myself included, I will hold my hands up, we kind of had to take a step back and we uploaded a little bit less. And that led to, a lot of hate coming our way. And I know this is happening with several other large YouTubers right now. And it really does come down to the market and how it actually affects people's emotions. I myself personally, over the last few months, have felt a very, very much so increased sense of anxiety. I've had more lows than usual, I think would be fair to say. Partially due to the stock market, partially due to the fact that, it affects my career, which is YouTube. Partially due to the fact that, it brings a lot of other people down. A lot of those people like to express that towards YouTubers. There's no arguing that over the last couple of months I have received some absolutely horrific comments said towards me, both on YouTube and private messages, things of the likes. And as much as you don't want to let that get to you, at times it just does. So as a YouTuber, we're dealing with these things, but I know just as, any person, myself included, as an investor, seeing your hard-earned money fluctuating so heavily on a day-to-day basis can really, really take its toll. And just earlier on today, I did a live stream in regards to Palantir's earnings, and there was a few people in there who seemed really, really worried, not only about Palantir, which again is down considerably on the day even after good earnings, but about the stock market in general. And you got this sense that there was more to it than just being worried. And I've been there. I mean, my anxiety has been through the roof the last couple of months for several different reasons, but one of them being the stock market and the way it affects people. I don't need to get into the ins and outs of it, but as the stock market has gotten worse, I personally have received a huge influx of horrific messages, both publicly on YouTube and privately on multiple platforms. We don't need to get into the ins and outs of it, but I mean, if you've been on the internet for a while, you know how these messages go, and reading and those things every day really, it gets to you eventually. I think what's so important about the stock market is to understand why you're getting into it, okay? And there's not necessarily a right or wrong answer here, but you need to understand why you are getting into the market. Me personally, I went into it with the mindset over the last 12 months or so that I want to find these higher risk, higher reward companies that I'm going to be willing to hold on to for 3 to 5 years. And I always knew that more than likely some of them wouldn't succeed and I would lose a considerable amount of money on some of these companies for that exact reason. But I also thought that if I diversified enough, which I have, I think I'm in 30 plus companies at the moment, if the large majority of them do well and we get a few, really big winners, I'm going to make considerable money. So I understand why I'm investing, but there are some people, and I can tell just from speaking with them through the comment section alone, they don't necessarily understand why they're investing. Because when I see the red days like this, I can tell which companies I want to buy more of now and which companies I want to wait for. I can understand why these red days are happening and what needs to happen for green days to come back. But some people don't really get that. They just invest in a stock as such more so than a company and expect it to go up, because that's what we grew accustomed to from, let's say, April of last year for close to 6, 7, 8 months following that period of time. So if nothing else comes from this period that we're going through right now, just learn that, everybody's going through this. Look at the RK, my friends. Look at that 6-month chart. I mean, they're down nearly 35%. This is Cathy Wood and her team, okay? Down 4.5% pre-market. It's not just you, who's feeling the pain. It is growth stock investors. And that's clear when you look at the ARK ETFs. I feel like over the last couple of months, there's been a lot of toxicity in the world of stocks, especially, the social media space. I mean, at the end of the day, all of us here share a common goal, whether you're a short-term investor, long-term investor, you trade options, you're in crypto. We all want to make money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why we invest in whatever we do for whatever time period we do. And I just ask that you all remember that, everybody you interact with online is more than likely also in the stock market. And everybody you interact with online could have some stuff going on behind the scenes that you've no idea about. And everybody you're speaking to online could be having a particularly good or a particularly bad day. They're not just a username. There's a person there. And this goes for the YouTubers too. It goes for me. I mean, I didn't really get this until I became a YouTuber, but we're just a normal person. I remember when I watched YouTube, when I watched whoever it was back in the day, I would think that, you know, well, these are some sort of character, but at the end of the day, they're people too. And the stock market is a very tense place, okay? Whenever money is involved, there's always going to be high tensions. Look after yourself is the one true point I'm trying to make in today's video. You don't have to sit all day in front of your screen looking at your portfolio. If you know that opening up that app is going to up your anxiety, up your stress, perhaps send you down a bad path, stop. Take some time. Spend the day with your family. Spend the day with your loved ones. Spend a day watching Netflix. Just spend a day doing something different than constantly looking at that portfolio. Because one thing a lot of people fail to realize is that just because you're looking at your portfolio doesn't mean you're going to change anything. The market's going to do what it's going to do one way or the other. So particularly on a day like today, where pre-market is horrific, if you don't plan on buying anything, you don't need to open that portfolio. You can deal with it when you're back in a better mind frame. If you have learned over the past couple of months that you can't handle this, you need to change your investment thesis going forwards. You cannot be as exposed to companies that you're exposed to right now that, you know, fluctuate as much. It's not going to be good for your mental health. And if you're not in a mentally good place, you're definitely not going to be able to make good investment decisions. It's simple. But just know that you're not alone. Everybody's going through these things. And if things ever get really, really bad, ask someone for help. Ask a loved one, ask a family member, ask a friend for help. You know, it might sound silly in your head to do that. They will help you. If you're just feeling really down, if you're having anxiety, if you're stressed out because of these things, ask someone for help, please. I've been there. I've been there when you feel like you've hit rock bottom. You're embarrassed to ask somebody for help. Don't be. It's ridiculous. When I look back at it in hindsight, it was the most stupid thing I could have done. I know a lot of you guys who are watching this video aren't really going to associate with the words I have to say, and you're going to think this isn't real. There's a lot of people out there who are going to really feel what I'm saying in this video, and just because you're not one of them, please, you know, still try, just be nicer to people. Mental health isn't something I see spoken about near often enough in the stock market community, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be by the greats. When you read stock market investing books, when you read The Intelligent Investor, Rich Dad Poor Dad, things of the likes, this is a subject that doesn't get brought up. And I think it's an extraordinarily important one because money plays with people's emotions heavily. Look, it's going to be a rough day for everybody's portfolios. Hopefully you all get through it just fine. That's really what I wanted to say in today's video. I don't need to drag it out. I just want you guys to know you're not alone, okay? It's a tough day. There's lots of tough days over the last couple of months, and there's going to be way more tough days in the future. But make sure you learn something from them. At the end of the day, it's going to be okay. One more thought I would just really like to leave you guys with is that, you know, days like this have happened for decades and decades and decades. I always like to use Apple as an example, a $2.12 trillion company. You can't even see it. Look, there is a 70% dip in the span of 6 months with Apple. If you held since then, you're up 50,000%. Now, obviously, not every company sees a 70% dip and continues to go up 50,000%. That would be ludicrous, but you get the picture. And there are so many more examples with Apple of where they crashed 50+%, 30%, 40%, whatever it is, in a very short period of time. But ultimately, they always came back up. And look at some of your personal favorite investors. I bet Warren Buffett's going to make the list, Benjamin Graham, etc., etc. They've all been long-term investors who have stayed in the markets and bought in the markets during every phase ever for decades and decades and decades in their personal high conviction plays. The people that, you know, a lot of investors respect the most are the long-term guys who have, you know, lived through upwards of a dozen crashes. They don't panic. You know, maybe they make some tactical sells, they make a lot of tactical buys, and ultimately they make a lot of money in the long term. And that really is how it goes. I wish I knew more on this topic. I wish I could help you guys out more, but hopefully me just saying that, you know, it's going to be okay and that everybody is, you're not alone basically. Hopefully that can help at least somebody out. That's really what I want from this video. Understand that things like this do happen in the stock market and that is not going to change. Okay, so if nothing else, learn a lesson. But I just want to end the video off by saying that I genuinely really hope you're all doing okay on a personal level. Not your portfolios, etc., but you, I hope you're doing okay. You know, if you are doing okay, maybe ask somebody else if they're doing okay. And if they're not, maybe try to help them out a little bit. You know what I mean? we're all in this together. Let's try, you know, lift each other up as opposed to tear each other down. But anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end the video off. I don't think I need to ramble much more. If you watched till the end, hopefully something I said did resonate with you. I do genuinely hope you have a beautiful, blessed day. And of course, in the eyes of me, you, my friend, are a true legend. Anyway, guys, I will see you for another video very soon. Peace.